Hi everyone, welcome to our podcast. I'm Girly Dube, a wife to Khokhovula. Today we are having our own podcast based on our line of work, which is spirituality. I am here with him today, Mr. Khokhovula. How are you, sir?
Fine, thank you, Mama Khokhovula, for having me at your podcast studio.
Oh, Mr. Khokhovula, I think we all know, or I know as your wife, that you are a traditional healer, you are a sangoma, you are a spiritualist. You've said to me that you possess some powers. So now I think people want to know what are really those powers that you have or that you possess.
Powers as they differ in the church. There is a prophetic power. It only works on the pastor, on the leader of the church who will prophesy you, lowering you, getting you to fill his church. There is a miraculous powers. It works for the congregants. They are the ones who want miracles to be healed upon things that have troubled them longer, that they have considered permanent problems on them. Pastor, with his miracle powers, come to perform miracles to the congregants. It doesn't end there. If a pastor has got to run a successful church, there's got to be church powers as well. How do church powers work now? The church powers work on a congregant. A congregant feel your church better than any other church. He feels they've been in the church and enjoyed the Sunday service in your church than any other. He feels being more of a family and the belonging in this church more than any other church. So that is the church power. So these three powers, they will build up a shakable church or a congregation. I
So,
think people hear what I'm saying.
in just a small term or a small phase, what are church powers?
Church powers is the power that gives an oomph and the courage and the will of belonging and the continuous belonging to the congregant. Even the person who is outside your church, when it is your name is being called, the one that you call your church with, all together with you, as the pastor who makes it the church as a brand. When they are talking about you, it's not the same as when they are talking about somebody. The person wants to see this pastor. The person have more belief in this pastor and this church than the other. That is the church power that fill the congregants than the leader.
There is this mountain of yours that you have in Zimbabwe that is called Makwe Mountains. Can you explain? I think people want to know, are there powers in the mountain? Is it the powers that your ancestors gave to you? How did it come up for you to have your own mountain where you do your consultation there?
How did Makwe Mountain become? We are originated from the west of Gwanda in a place of the Kalanga people. And then we were driven by the other Kalangas far to the east, and then we ended up at that place called Makwe. Makwe is Ameva, the thorns that were all around that place. So the place was called Makwe, that comes the mountain. When they came to that place, people were afraid of that mountain. It was known for certain miracles and certain dangers if you had to just climb on it, because it was filled with some certain spirits. There were laws of climbing that mountain. Requests were to be made from the oracles in order to get permission to do whatsoever you wanted to do, rituals or whatsoever. So now our people came and they built their homes and houses surrounding that mountain. There is Mligiwa Maimkulu, Koko, there is Notani Maikoko, there is Zihwa who gave birth to Manondo, and Amos Kafula, the people who actually are known as the owners of that mountain. People who maintained the spiritual systems of that mountain and the laws of that mountain spiritually relating to the people or related to its people and the things that they would want to do on the mountain customarily and spiritual. So now, as time goes by, people lost uh, the tendency and the laws and the acts and the customs that were to be done in response to the mountain spiritual happenings. They lost those laws. So the mountain become ordinary to people, though this mountain have shown or responded to people when they were doing wrong. I will come to that. Now, what have made Makwe Mountain important today is the issue of Njelele Shrine, which is very well known when it comes to Zimbabwe and Zimbabwean rain goddesses. During the war and liberation struggle of Zimbabwe, when people were fighting with the white people in request of their land, their freedom, liberation struggle, some other black movements, they shot at that Njelele mountain, which had a rock that was speaking to people when they had gone to ask for enough rains for their animals, for their people, for their lands, as the rain goddess. Now, what happened as years go by, the Njelele rock that was talking to people, it got silenced, or it left, if I may put it that way. It became dysfunctional, and the Njelele mountain became not important because it was not offering people that it used to offer, as in enough rains and enough water for the people. Now, we realized that people were going to Njelele, the empty Njelele, a Njelele that has become nothingness when it comes to what it offered to the people with that goddess. Now, I, as Khokhovula, came to a point where, through dreams, through whispering, through being sent, I was told that I must inform the villagers and the people that Makwe Mountain must be a holder or a representative of the Njelele shrine. Makwe Mountain must become a shrine to hold or to serve the purpose that Njelele was actually doing before it was provoked. So that's how this Makwe Mountain have become a shrine. It is at a point where we are awaiting a point where the elders, the politicians, and everybody that may play a role might bring a resolution or a solution that can take Njelele back to what we knew it to be as a shrine. So, Makwe Mountain is the mountains of my great grand. Some were even building their places and houses on top of Makwe Mountain. As I speak now, there are 5 stages where you can climb Makwe Mountain, 5 stages of requesting or of asking or as a prayer point.
I think with the discussion of Magwe Mountain, we're gonna really need one episode about
Or enough time.
enough time to discuss about
Yeah.
Magwe Mountain. I think there's a lot more that people need to understand about Magwe Mountain. So coming to the things that you have that people have to use as the injelele, as you are putting it. I hear there's also a dam called
Hollywood.
a dam. Is it a dam?
It's a river
Yes,
pool.
a river pool.
They
that is
tried,
called
there's a long story with
Hollywood
that one.
Dam, yeah.
Yeah.
So, but I think on those ones, we really need enough time, I think, to discuss more about that. But just brief people about what Hollywood Dam is.
Right. Haliulu is also connected to Makwe Mountains. Makwe Mountains are the mountains of Amandau, Amalinda, those bush spirits, whereas Hollywood is the hub of water spiritual beings and deities. You know, Hollywood. This name Hollywood, it's a Jaunda name. Jaunda is a certain Kalanga language. Jaunda. Hollywood means ipotwe elikhulu, a big pot. If you will see that a pool, you will be amazed. There is a mountain on the both sides of the rivers. So they built a dam. They were trying to build a dam closing the Hollywood pool inside the dam. It refused. What happened? They could construct a dam, put the rain enforcement. When they have built maybe this high, a meter or a meter and a half to 2, when the concrete is dry, things would come and destroy all that cement and the reinforcement. They take all the bricks, all the concrete that was used and the reinforcement, all that steel, and put it at the side of the river, outside the river. It was until the elders were called to plead for clemency with the oracles, with the ancestors, to ask that the dam be built. And they were told to push the walls far behind the pool so that the dam will spill the water into the pool when it is full. So, which made the continuous existence of Haliwulu pool at Tuli River Farm. The people that were called to do those rituals, to actually make requests from the spirits to have the dam built, it was my ancestors, Abochikuni, Bomaunya, the great grand, the primitives of this sample that we've just passed on. Omatuhwani, it is my mother's family. My grandmother who gave birth to my mother's family. So all the names of their places, they go in Jaunda names. Haliwulu, Jomba, Tunutule, Mashangule, Gwaje, Siongwane, Tomokai, Kotohwane. So those names, they go in Jaunda, which is a language that it was formed from Kalanga when they were defeated and driven by the actual Kalangas to the east, to Gwanda.
Khokhovula, once again, I would like you to explain a bit more about these Sangoma powers, prophetic powers, and church powers. I think we need to understand what's the difference with these powers.
Yes, ma'am, Kokobut, and everybody. Now, these things are just one and the same thing. All these powers are directed to one and the same God. All that differs is the level of powers. All that differs is what people have done and they created to differentiate themselves one from the other so that they will come with a term. A good person of God that takes you to God. A bad person that is of Satan and does not take you to God. We are the one chosen than those who are not chosen. A Sangoma is a prophet. A prophet is a Sangoma. They all do one thing and they see the same way. If they see spiritual, it is same way and it is spiritual for seeing. The only way that it differ is a Sangoma sometimes will throw bones in order to help his foreseeing, which is symbolical in the way the bone have fallen. But at the same time, they can see things with through visions like you are seeing a film. That's the Sangomas. They can also listen to voices that are whispering to them, telling them about the past and the future. Is it of themselves and other people? Same applies to the prophets. They say they are listening to angels and God and whatsoever. At the same time, they see things. You see what I'm saying? So now, at the end of the day, these people are one and the same thing. But when it comes to the level of seeing, it differs. One sees more, one sees less. That's why even in the biblical times, according to some biblical passages, other prophets did not see and have miracles as good as Elijah did or Elisha did. Elisha had his own level, while Elijah had his own level. Moses, in his Exodus, he had his own level of powers, whereas Pharaoh had his own level of powers. But they will differentiate these things according to their belief types. You understand what I'm saying? So now, there are very few people who have got higher level of spiritual powers in all aspects. Is it being miraculous? That means giving results in solving problems miraculously through emailing or magic and what you call spell. But all they come and develop from powers and energies, spiritual energies. So the difference is the level. That's the reason you have seen those who have got lower level of performance and spirituality. They end up having to come to people like us, Khokhovula, and consult in search of the powers that will match the services they want to render to the people. So it's the level that actually counts and differ. Spiritual powers. Spiritual power is something that one needs to understand very well, because sometimes people cut. Right, spirituality is something that one has to understand highly. When I'm saying spirituality is something that we have to understand highly, I have come to realize that without having to seek for spiritual powers, very less things that you will do successful. Footballers have consulted with people spiritually, such as me, in search of their powers to have more abilities and skills in their football play, in order to be more and better than anyone, so that they perform well. The pastors have done the same in order to get more powers, for people to follow them, to trust in them, to believe in them, even if a person hasn't been healed or nothing has been done serious, but they will see serious stuff, because those who are performing it have gone to consult to get even more powers that will make you believe. Everything now, even in politics, people are keeping their offices, they are keeping their organizations powerful and successful through consultation by such powers, which make you people believe in them. So when you come into things like spirituality and spiritual powers, you are doing something, even if it's business. If you don't have extra powers, which is a spiritual intervention to force things into happening, you are a non-starter. Everybody does it. Look in churches. The pastors will tell you, don't do those things. It's occult, blah, 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 blah. You remain ordinary when they wear the stature of the gods. In your churches, your pastors are no longer pastors. If I can tell you, they have become the gods and your gods. People start smaller things. In a blink of an eye, it have manifested into bigger stuff that you cannot imagine. And you wonder, how come? Are these guys Jesuses? Do they have miracles to walk on top of water? What powers do they have to actually get things happening in this way? They are achieving all their goals that they have set forth. You are doing the very same thing that they are doing with all your effort. But at the end of the day, you are achieving nothing. It is because you don't have those spiritual powers and the extra powers.
There's so much that I don't know. There's so much that we need to understand a lot about this spiritual journey. There's so much, guys. I don't even know what to say, but just stay tuned. We are yet to find out more about these spiritual powers and the difference between them. There's a lot. Remember, there's Makwe Mountain that has to now be in Jelele. So stay tuned for more of these teachings from Mr. Khokhovula. Mr. Khokhovula, thank you so much for having you here. We are looking forward to hearing more about your teachings. We hope you, everybody at home who was listening to this episode, learned a lot. There's more to come, and stay with us for the next episode. Thank you.